I just wanted to sit here and look at the ocean.
Well, let's talk. Because somebody requested something of us.
What did they request?
So the person that requested this was Henry. Henry Wind. He sent us a very nice happy anniversary message. And he asked us to talk about the work. Like, what is the work? When you say all the work that it takes to make a happy life, a successful marriage, a happy and healthy relationship, what is the work?
A couple of things are coming up for me, just as always, God talking to me. But in this book, the main character, I read you a part of this, but essentially she's creating like a new religion, a new philosophy. And she declares that God is change. And that's it, right? God is change. And so it's coming up for me right now because the first thing that I think of is simply that you as an individual in a relationship will continue to change. You're going to change. You can't stop that. You can't stop God. So that's kind of the premise, right, of this statement. God has changed. You can't stop change. You can't stop God. However, you can shape God, and you can shape what you become as a result of change.
Yeah. You can use God.
You can use God. And you can work with the change. So there's you as an individual changing, and then there's your partner changing. And there's the reality that the two of you are trying to be in a relationship despite all of those changes.
Yeah.
And there's work there then.
Yeah.
There's work in, I don't know, I like to talk from the individual because I think that's where the focus initially should start. Yeah. It's like there's accepting that you've changed, accepting your changes, seeing your changes, being honest about the changes. Just because you change doesn't mean it's going to be something positive.
Or helpful for the relationship.
Or helpful for the relationship. Exactly. So that's first, is like recognizing the parts of you that have changed.
Yeah.
Accepting that, working with that. And then there's sharing that. Like we were saying in our vows, like being honest with each other, even if it's scary, is hard work.
Yeah.
Because people want to avoid the conflict of sharing something that they know their partner is not going to like to hear, or that they know is going to trigger their partner, or that they know their partner is going to
think is going to trigger.
Yes.
You know.
Well, sometimes you know.
Sometimes you know, and sometimes you think.
Sometimes you know.
Sometimes you know, and sometimes you think. Yeah. But the work in that example is like mustering up the courage.
Yes.
To say what needs to be said.
Yes.
You know, people talk, it's like communication. You know, we talked about
Oh, yes. Like we were just talking about.
Blah, blah.
Yeah.
No, it's honesty and listening.
Yes.
You know, I get emotional even thinking about that. Yes. Because when your partner shares their honest truth, you being willing to receive, like doing the work to receive who they are sharing themselves to be.
Yes.
And the work also of like letting go of the old version of them that you might still see them to be, even though they might be telling you they've changed and they're different. The work of listening and seeing and accepting, that's work.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause like how many times have we both held each other to an old version of ourselves, even though we're like, no, but babe, like, I'm not that person anymore.
Yes, exactly.
I'm not that person
Exactly.
anymore. You know, like, I've done
Yeah.
that to you. You've done that to me. I don't know how many times.
Yeah.
It's work, but that's work, right? It's like
Yes.
seeing and listening and accepting, like, oh, okay, this is them now.
Yeah.
You know, it took me years. It took me years to accept that, like, you're not nearly as afraid of bugs as you used to be. For me to actually see, like, oh,
Yeah.
she actually has changed.
I think that I know, but I think that, you're thinking of the ways in which you've actually done a really great job, I think, for the most part of this part of the work. I think that, like, since it's our 10-year anniversary, what I've been thinking a lot about is how honest I was with you at the beginning of this relationship. And I told you that I did not want to get married. That was a former version of myself. I didn't want to get married. And you listened and you said, okay. And, I don't know if you accepted that. But it felt like you accepted it.
Yeah, I did. Because it's like...
And you didn't press me about it.
I just wanted to be with you.
Okay.
You
know?
Yes. And I was like, well, let's just see where this goes. Because I just want to be with her. And if, like, we just do this thing forever and we no longer get married, like, could I be okay with that? I don't know. Let's find out.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I changed.
Yeah. For the better. For the better.
And then I changed my mind, okay?
Yeah.
So, I think that's those are the rewards of doing the work.
Yeah, well, can I add? So there's honesty, there's courage, there's listening, right? Those things. I think the work, a big part of it, apart from that, but connected to it, is doing the work to, like, learn more about yourself.
Yes.
And I say that because life will throw stuff at you. You will be changed. There might be change that you want and will for yourself. And then there's change that just, like, happens.
Yeah.
Right? You move, or somebody dies, or you lose something or someone, and you're changed. Right?
Yeah.
And you have to do the work to figure out who you are now because of this change that you either asked for or didn't ask for.
Yeah. Yes.
And do that work to learn and accept yourself. But also what I know, what's important for me around that is becoming a better person. I just think that when you learn more about yourself, you better yourself. And, like, for me, I want to add more goodness to our marriage. And the best way to do that is to continue to learn more about myself.
Yeah.
And I think my commitment and your commitment to doing that is a part of what it's work, right? It's not easy, but it's a part of what has
well, that's what I mean.
This thing that we have 10 years later.
Yeah. Well, that's what I meant by, like, being honest with yourself about the change. Because you're going to change. And some people don't or they're not taking the time to see how they've changed. Yeah. They're just kind of accepting or even attaching to an old version of themselves that they're just, like, not anymore.
Yeah. People scared to let go.
Yeah, and I think sometimes that's the hardest work. I think sometimes the hardest work is doing work on yourself. But it is the most important for your relationships.
To me, it's step one.
It's step one.
It's like, it's crazy that you said that God has changed, or that's the concept in the book, because, I mean, I wish I would have read this book how many decades ago when it was written, because I've just come to that. Like, I've just come to that. I was listening to a podcast about the universe. Basically, that's what I came to, and they didn't say it in the podcast, but that's what I came to. I'm like, oh, God has changed, right? And we've talked about this before. I don't think people resist change. I think people resist the grief that comes with change. And that's what people get stuck on. So the work is grieving
Yeah.
as well. Grieving and letting
Yes.
go of who you used to be and embracing and accepting and learning about who you are now. I say that in a
Yes.
sentence, but like that sentence is a lot of work. And I think that's when we talk about doing the
Yes.
work, it's those things.
Yeah. Well, yes. I don't know. I think grieving is like a final boss of learning to just have your emotions.
Yeah.
I think learning to have your emotions is very important work to have thriving relationships in general. All of them.
Yeah.
And taking responsibility. That is the work. Taking responsibility for your emotions. It is to a relationship's detriment for you to put any of the uncomfortable or what people call negative emotions on to your partner or onto any person that you're in a relationship with. Like, you're going to be disappointed with your husband or wife.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're going to feel you're going to be annoyed a lot. No, you're going to be hurt.
Yeah. You're going to feel hurt.
You're going to feel hurt. And those emotions are your responsibility first.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, like, even just like a baseline, if you don't have like a baseline, then that might be step one.
Yeah. There's a lot of potential. There's a lot of doors into having a healthy relationship.
But this is the work. This is the work. And it's ongoing.
I mean, I think that,
and it's
as
ongoing.
You just said, annoyed, right? Annoyed was a big one for me. I remember a student telling me, "You're allowed to be annoyed with Jessica." And I was like, I am?
Yeah.
Okay. I could just have my emotions.
Yeah.
They're not bad. It's not bad to be annoyed with something or to feel annoyed from something that my wife did or said. Oh, okay. Then yeah, to your point, have your emotions. You know, it's like now I realize that when it comes to honesty, I can share something with you and I know, or I have some level of certainty that you're not going to like it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what's the risk? What's the, I'm sure you do this.
Yeah.
Like, what's the wager? How big is this? Oh, she'll be a little annoyed or she'll be a little hurt. Okay, but how important is this thing? Oh, it's pretty important. So, okay, it's something that's pretty important, a little annoyed. Probably should just tell her.
Yeah.
And deal and be with her being annoyed. Right.
Yes.
And then also like just letting you be annoyed.
Yeah.
You're not trying to fix it, not trying to stop it.
Yeah.
Right? That's work. The work is like not
taking responsibility for your partner's emotions.
Yeah. So you taking responsibility for your own.
Yes.
And not taking responsibility for your partner.
Yes.
Right.
Work.
It's like, here you go.
Work.
Here's something that's important to me.
This is really hard work.
And then you have your emotions. And actually, I'm going to go have mine. Because now I'm triggered because you got annoyed.
Yeah, yeah.
So you be annoyed. I'm going to go deal with my triggeredness. And we'll come back together after we both had our emotions.
Yeah.
You know? That's the stuff, to me, that's the next level stuff that, like, after 10 years, we can do that. We didn't have that on year one. You know? No. And I think that's
We've worked at it.
We've worked at it. And I think that's, I would say, one of the best things I feel like we've done for our marriage is create big change because it has forced us or encouraged or invited us to do this work. You know, like all these moves, all these job changes, moving to Costa Rica, like the shit that we had to address in the first year and a half that we moved here and the work that we had to do to get back to feeling good in our marriage has, I think, it's leveled us up.
Yeah.
Right. And so, because it's forced us to do a lot of things that we just didn't have to do before, a lot of work that we just didn't have to do before. These kinds of things. I think a part of the reason why we're in the position that we're in is because of some of the choices we've made, the change that we've decided to create.
Yeah.
That forced us
to accept,
to do a lot of different kinds of work.
Yeah. To accept the changes we've decided to accept. I was also thinking back to just like what we were talking about with communication, that a lot of times people say communication, it's the most important, but it's really like, it's not just communication. It's honest, courageous communication.
Yeah.
It's listening.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also learning to be in conflict. I read Why Marriages Fail and Succeed. I think that's the name of it. A long time, like before I should have probably read it. I was not interested in getting married, but
yeah, you read that?
But I did, yeah, because I found it so interesting, mainly because what John Gottman, what he writes about, it's like his initial book on the Four Horsemen. And he talks about how like there's nothing wrong with conflict. And then he also describes different styles of conflict and how we all have different styles. Anyways, what I appreciated at the time, because I read this like before I met you, was that I, in a different life, probably even just like got a little high from being in conflict. I'm not uncomfortable with it. And yet I have a particular style. Yeah. Like there's an aggression in the way that I like to approach conflict. And I think that's important to know about yourself. Again, knowing about yourself, right? Knowing about what you bring to the table.
Yeah.
And working on it.
Yeah.
And also recognizing that most people are not comfortable with conflict. And the people that you're getting into a relationship with are likely not comfortable with conflict. And so learning about how they approach conflict, one, and two, together as a unit, working on coming together to have a more productive conflict together. That takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of work to first see, like, this is how I engage in conflict. This is how they engage in conflict. Okay. Then, like, all the details and the nuances, like, this is what happens to me when I'm in conflict. This is how I get triggered. This is what I need.
Tools to recenter.
This is what I need, right? To be able to actually successfully get through the conflict. Then there's practicing that.
Yeah.
Then there's practicing that together. And then getting to a point of practicing the courage to engage in conflict together and trust. Yeah. Practicing trust that you can do it and that it's not going to lead to you getting divorced.
Yeah.
All of that is so much work. That is a laborious section of being in a relationship.
And I can imagine someone listening to you describe all of that and be like, fuck, that sounds like a lot of work. And it's like, yeah.
It is a lot of work.
It is
hard. It's very hard work.
Yeah.
It's very hard work.
Yeah, I would say I like what you said, like productive or healthy conflict together. Because I feel that like we came from different places.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say you had a healthy relationship with conflict. I wouldn't say that I had a healthy relationship.
Why it was necessary for you to name
I'm just
our
saying,
healthy or unhealthiness.
I'm just saying that's the goal.
Yes.
Right. Well, and knowing where
Yes.
you're at with
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
and knowing and then coming together. Because
Yes.
I know I didn't have a healthy relationship with conflict.
Yes.
You were more conflict oriented, but I don't know if that was healthy. Right. And then
Yeah.
over the course of time, we kind of like met in the middle.
Work to meet each other
somewhere
in the middle. Yeah, so that we can be productive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can actually, because like as I see it now, like conflict is a tool. It is a useful tool for a marriage.
It is a useful tool.
And it's like it has a negative connotation, but it's a tool.
It is a requirement for intimacy.
Yes.
Conflict is a requirement for intimacy. I don't think that you should wear a badge of honor if you're in a relationship and you guys have never engaged in a conflict before.
Yeah.
And you can, again, it's more like, because what that tells me is that the relationship is not that deep then.
Yeah. No, it's like your shit ain't being tested.
Like,
ain't been tested.
Even with some of my longest friendships, there have been moments of conflict.
Yeah.
It's not like...
The best friendships.
Exactly. And that's why I'm saying relationships in general, I think all relationships require work. It's just that the level of commitment that you're giving a marriage is, You're
committing to do the most work.
You're committing to do the most work because you're committing to ride this out for life. I mean...
Yeah.
That's the
goal.
That's what most people are saying when they do the vows and, we're going to do this until one of us dies. That's the commitment. Well, okay, like you don't give that level of commitment to other relationships, but you hope that other relationships will last a very long time.
Yeah.
And again, conflict is a requirement to intimacy. So if you want more intimacy in a relationship, you're going to have to engage in conflict at some point and get to the other side of it. It's not just like conflict for the sake of conflict. It's to engage in this work.
Yeah.
To learn how to be in productive conflict with a person.
Yeah.
Strengthens the relationship.
There's a word that we haven't used yet that's in this whole conversation, and it's reflection. When I think about conflict, I think about how important reflection is. So it's like, to me, you can't really have you can't have healthy conflict without reflection. You can't have a healthy marriage without conflict. So you can't have a healthy marriage without reflection.
Yeah.
And I think about the tool that we picked up somewhere along the way, the conscious communication, so like, I'm having this experience.
The story that I tell myself.
The story I'm telling myself about
critical.
But
critical.
I remember reading that book. I can't remember, somewhere in that book it says like, if you and your partner can't go into separate rooms and reflect and come back to your conversation with something that you can own and be responsible for, and you haven't done the work. Everybody, if you're in a conflict, everybody has something to own. The story they're telling themselves that's leading them to have the experience that they're having.
Yeah.
That reflection is work. Because I legit have gone into a room and I've written, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like, what am I not seeing? Like, what am I missing? This lady is driving me crazy. And I got to figure out something that's mine. What do I need to own? This is my legit journal reflection.
Oh my goodness.
And then I'll come up with something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I got it. Now I can go to you and be like, babe, I'm realizing the story I'm telling myself about this thing that has happened is leading me to feel this way. Right?
Yeah.
And that's then coming back to owning your emotions.
Yes.
But also owning the stories. And then when we started doing that, I'd be like, the story I'm telling myself about this thing that you did or said is this.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
And you would be like, no. And I'm like, oh, oh, okay. So then what's the truth? And then you would tell me your truth.
Yeah.
Right. And so like that reflection.
It's coming back to the truth.
It comes back to the truth. Right. And these are all just tools of learning how to be honest. And having the courage to be honest.
I think we've done a really thorough explanation of some
I think it's enough
of the work.
I think it's enough
am
work.
starting to notice that I'm getting hungry and losing focus.
Yeah, and I'm sweaty.
Okay.
And you look sweaty too.
Yeah.
So hopefully that was good. Hope you appreciate it. That's the work. In I don't know how many minutes. Hope you enjoy the view while we had this healthy conversation. Thank you, babe.